The Republican National Committee member Randy Evans joins me now. He's also a member of the GOP Convention Rules Committee. Randy, nice to see you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
First get your reaction. Absolutely. I want to get your reaction to Senator Bob Corker removing himself as vice presidential candidate. Your thoughts?
Well, I think it's one of the most important decisions that any senator or governor or congressman can make. I think Senator Corker is very well respected in the Senate, and I think he knows that he's got an enormous job in front of him, and he wants to finish that job. And I think he's is content to let other folks carry the banner of being the VP because he has such important work to do in the Senate.
Let me ask you this, though, because as we heard Trump say, there are all these people are calling him, wanting to be his VP pick. But on the other hand, there have been several people, including the senator, who have taken themselves out of the running to be Trump's vice presidential pick. Is that concerning to you at all?
There's no shortage of candidates who want to be the vice presidential nominee for Donald Trump. And so, no, it doesn't concern me at all. It does give me a great deal more confidence to know that there are people who are willing to put the country ahead of their own ambitions and their own abilities to get a higher job. I think Senator Corker is a great example of that, who just said, we've got a tough road ahead of us, and I need to be in the Senate.
And you are a senior advisor to Newt Gingrich's presidential campaign. What do you think? What do you think about that matchup? Would you like for him to be Trump's pick?
Well, I think Newt brings a lot to the table. I mean, certainly he's was a former speaker, which means he's already been in line to be the president. He balanced the budget. He reformed welfare. He rebuilt the Defense Department. He wrote the contract with America, which got the House back in order. But I think far more importantly than all of those things is, as you know, Donald Trump continues to lag behind among Republicans. Some polls put him in the 70s. I think if Newt Gingrich was the vice presidential nominee, you'd see that number go all the way up into the 90s. I think he would bring the rest of the base home. He would lock down the South. And he's somebody that everybody respects, including Donald Trump. Somebody who, if he feels as though the nominee gets over the line, he'll confront him about it and call him on it.
And I know you're in close touch with Reince Priebus, the head of the RNC. What is he telling you behind closed doors about Trump's VP search and the state of the race? Can you give us any insight?
I can just tell you that Reince has got his hands full getting the convention ready. You always feel like you're behind when you're this close to the convention. Reince is doing a phenomenal job. I think he's largely stayed out. Certainly his opinion has great weight with Donald Trump. But I think right now we're just getting to see each of these candidates on the stage. Tonight we'll get to see Newt and how he performs in Cincinnati. He just wrote me from the plane and said they're en route. So it should be pretty exciting to see how each one of these candidates. But I'll tell you this, I wouldn't discount the generals. I think Donald Trump's actually telling us something here that many aren't listening to, which is that he understands that we're in the midst of a war, and he intends on having the people around him to help fight that war.
And can you just help fill in the gap so far? I know they're still planning, but with the Republican National Convention right around the corner, we're hearing that Joni Ernst will be speaking. Can you shed light on who else will take the stage?
I think it's going to be one entertaining convention. I think that you're going to see a lot of diversity of thought, a lot of diversity, period. But I think you're also going to see a different side of Donald Trump. I think the American people are going to get introduced to the real Donald Trump as opposed to the caricature that many in the media have tried to portray him as. And I think once you hear the story of his family, of his children, of the way he runs his businesses, and the way he conducts himself, I think Americans are going to be favorably impressed. But I will say this, it's not going to be your father's Buick. It's not going to be your father's convention. It's going to be a little different.
It'll be a little different. All right, we'll have to wait and see. It's right around the corner. As I said, Randy Evans, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.